All right, you let me know when you want me to hit the timer.
Okay, I'm ready.
Good, go.
Okay. Last year, I visited the Grand Canyon. It was probably one of the craziest experiences of my life. I haven't really been to a lot of places, especially outside of the country, but it was so vast, obviously, as you can see here. Pictures do not do it justice. Has anyone been to the Grand Canyon here? No? Okay. So when I was there, I was just taking everything in. It's so huge, it makes you feel so small. You get vertigo, you get literally dizzy looking at it, how big it is. So when I was there, you think you're there for this huge and amazing place that's in the United States, which is already crazy. But I was, I heard there's a bunch of tourists around me. I heard someone talking about Native American tribes that used to live inside the canyon, and I thought, like, that's insane. I couldn't imagine anyone living inside this place. When you're looking at it, it just doesn't seem possible for humans to be able to sustain life down there. In fact, according to Marshall Terrell, a reporter with Arizona State University News, archaeologists generally agree that ancient humans have been living in and around the canyon for 10,000 years. Native American inhabitants of the Grand Canyon dates roughly to 200 BC, when the ancestral Puebloan people lived within the boundaries of the Four Corners region and migrated toward the Grand Canyon. Oh, jeez. No. What did I do? I don't know. Oh, that's fine. It's okay. So, that's pretty crazy, right? 10,000 years ago, and our history books go back a couple hundred years ago. So it's pretty insane to think about the history that is in this country that we know nothing about. Teresa Avila, assistant professor of art and curator at California State University, Channel Islands, stated, historically, the narrative of the Grand Canyon has been presented to us through the lens of European explorers and U.S. westward expansion of manifest destiny. She also said, however, the story of the Grand Canyon is not just about the celebration of nation building, it is also about the colonial practices that have been historically eradicated, indigenous ways of being, while also creating mechanisms for the denial of their civic rights and social justice. The 1800s is really what brought the biggest issues in this area of the country for the Native Americans: war, murder. Their land was taken. They were still able to keep a lot of acres of the land at the Grand Canyon, but not as much as they had before. Now, I could talk all day about the injustices that have happened to the Native American people, but today I just want to tell you a little bit about the tribes that are traditionally associated to the Grand Canyon and their culture. According to the National Park Service, there are 11 traditionally associated tribes with the Grand Canyon from Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and Utah. 6 of these tribes consider the canyon their place of emergence, so that technically means this is where they emerged from the earth. Native Americans, from what I've studied, believe that they are literally made and brought out from the earth, and this is where their people lived. The 2 most notable tribes are the Hualapai and the Havasupai. Marshall Terrell with ASU News also states that the arrival of the Havasupai tribe is set around 1300 AD, so that is the year 1300, about 700 years ago. Now, what if I told you that both of these tribes still live in the Grand Canyon right now? Which is insane, right? So both of them speak the dialects of a language called Yuman, and they were actually once a tribe all together themselves, but lack of resources, things like that, split them up. So the Hualapai, they're called the People of the Pines. They're located on the western rim of the Grand Canyon, which I have here. The Grand Canyon Skywalk is what you see right there. This is on the reservation of the Hualapai tribe. They also have the Grand Canyon West Hotel, which is a huge lodge, and these 2 things are really their main sources of revenue for the reservation. Most people that live here live in a town that is just like 5 miles outside of the Grand Canyon. It's called Peach Springs. So it's not, you're not getting this exact type of thing. However, the Havasupai tribe lives inside of the canyon. They live 8 miles beneath the western rim, so somewhere over here. They've been inside the canyon for, like they said, about 2,000 years. And it's home to the Havasu, these are some cave markings. This is just proof that, these are what the archaeologists say, this proves that they have been here for around 10,000 years. So this is Havasu Falls. This is one of the main tourist destinations of Havasu Canyon, which is home to the Havasupai people. The people themselves live in the Supai village, which, as you can see, is literally a village inside of the canyon. And all resources, anything that they need to live, is either done by an 8-mile mule train, so literal donkeys and horsebacks, or a helicopter. If there's an emergency, people are airlifted out, but they do have a clinic, a cafe, and they have a U.S. Postal Office, and they have a school, the Havasupai Elementary School. It's grades kindergarten through 8th grade. The aquifer, the hidden limestone aquifer, Havasu Falls, is the main life source of this community and the only way they've been able to live inside the canyon for so long. Now, starting in January 2022, their construction started at Desert View, which is a watchtower. It's a point at the Grand Canyon, which actually is starting to create a intertribal cultural center, which is going to give tribe members the opportunity to give firsthand accounts of living in the canyon. So it's no longer going to be people that work for the national park that are going to be telling you things about the park. It's going to be the people living inside the canyon, which is pretty awesome. So what can I say is that the next time, if you ever visit the Grand Canyon, if you ever find yourself there, I know I'm going to go again. Think about not only that you're there visiting one of the 7 wonders of the world, but you're living in someone's home where people lived for 10,000s of years, and the land you're standing on is very, very special and very sacred. Thank you.
I have 2 questions.